Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with the Cattle Site, and today we're here with Dr. Jeff Sarchet. He is a managing veterinarian with Zoetis. Thanks for being with us today, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
Very good. And today, Jeff and I are at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association conference called CattleCon in San Antonio, Texas. Warm San Antonio, Texas. That's what I'm calling it. Not sunny, but warm, because we haven't really seen a lot of the sun yet, as far as I can tell. But it's sure a lot warmer than where I came from, so we're enjoying that.
Yeah, we've had some warm weather.
Yeah, it's been nice. And it's a good show so far. So many of our cattle producers are about to begin calving in spring calving areas. What's your advice to producers to get those calves started on a healthy path, Jeff?
That's a good question. It actually should have started several months ago because we're finding out more and more how important the fetal programming is when the fetus is developing inside the cow. And so it's really critical that they get all their not only macronutrients but also micronutrients is set up, because that's very important for their immune system. But once they're born, the next most important thing for their immunity is their colostrum consumption. They typically need to get, it depends on the quality of the colostrum, but anywhere from a half to a gallon of colostrum within the first 12 hours. So on the cow-calf, we can't really measure that other than seeing the calf nurse. So really three things have to happen. Number one, the cow has to produce high-quality colostrum, and she needs to be vaccinated so she puts the antibodies into that colostrum. Then the calf has to nurse the colostrum, and then they have to absorb the colostrum. And the absorption is critical because once the calf is born, the intestine, actually when they're born, they can absorb all those proteins directly into the bloodstream. And then the intestine starts closing down. So that's why the 12 hours is critical, because after 12 hours, you're not going to absorb the colostrum. You have to digest it. So there's still a lot of good energy to it, but you don't get immunity from it. So that's why it's really critical for that. So if a calf's not nursing, you either need to milk that colostrum out or giving them some colostrum replacement. That's not as good as the cow's colostrum, but it's still better than nothing. Do not give them milk or electrolytes, because that's going to speed up that gut closure.
Got it.
Okay.
Good. Okay. What's the most common gap in health programs that you see in cow-calf programs?
I would say it's, as a veterinarian, a practice veterinarian, you have lots of different companies, lots of different products to choose from. I always evaluated products on 4 criteria: efficacy, safety, convenience, and price. Since COVID, I've added a 5th one, and that's availability. And that probably goes to the top of the line now, because if I can't get it, I don't care what it costs or how good it is. It doesn't matter. But after availability, I think the most important is efficacy, because if I'm going to pay for a product, I want to use the best product. And I'll pay more for a better product because it's really, especially with our vaccines, it's like an insurance policy. And a lot of times it's really tragic when people lose their home or something and they find out their insurance policy didn't cover that.
Right.
There are some very common vaccines out there that are actually for respiratory disease, and we give them to protect our fetus. They have no fetal protection. So if your vaccine does not say helps prevent IBR abortion or persistent infection from BVD, it's not protecting that fetus in the cow. It's only protecting the cow.
Right.
So know what your vaccines are, know what they're going to protect them. It's like buying an insurance you lose your house from a flood and then find out, oh, I don't have flood insurance.
Right.
If you don't have fetal protection on your cow vaccines, it's not providing that protection.
Got it. Very good. How about the cow side of the equation? What can producers do to help protect cows from disease challenges and get them ready for breeding?
That's kind of what I talked about. As far as the breeding, what you have really two classes of vaccines: a modified live and a killed. And if you're going to use the modified live, especially on the first time, you need to do that before they're bred. And the label may say 30 days. I tend to push that out to 45. There's not necessarily any data, but I do know that egg in the ovary takes 42 days to develop. So if I gave the vaccine 45 days, I feel more comfortable that I did not affect that at all. So, and that takes some planning to, oh, I'm ready to turn out. I better go, I should have vaccinated and everything ahead of time. And actually, I encourage my clients to do their bull breeding exams, usually 2 months ahead of time.
Right.
And then I would remind them to, start their cow vaccines ahead of time. But a lot of times, if you wait until you're ready to turn your bull out and do a breeding soundness exam, and you have a problem, now you're scrambling to find another bull. And if you have 60 days, that's a lot better. So that, your bull is just as important to getting your cows bred as your vaccination program is.
Right. Good. How does implementing a cow herd vaccination program set up the calf crop for future productivity?
Well, obviously we have historic market prices. Our cattle are more valuable than they've ever been. I think they're more vulnerable than they've ever been also. For a lot of reasons, I think the pathogens, exposure, diseases that we deal with seem to be getting more difficult to control. And our cattle seem to be, we've selected strictly for reproduction and performance for 150 years.
Right.
And I think we're starting to see some of the consequences on the health side because we've only selected for performance. And we've done a tremendous job of making them grade better, perform better, but maybe we need to concentrate a little more on the health side. And doing that, but that's a long-term process. Again, it gets back to understand the best products you can do, can give your cattle. Also, when the ideal timing is, because a lot of times we give our vaccine, again, when it's convenient, like when we wean them, that's probably the worst time to vaccinate them because they're stressed, and it's better to do that ahead of time. You want to vaccinate and build that protection before exposure and stress, not during or even after. So the timing is critical. The products you use are critical, and do everything you can. The nutrition is critical too, year round, not just any one certain time.
Very good. And you alluded to this just now, but beyond good nutrition and vaccination, is there any other strategy that could help improve reproductive efficiency at the cow herd level? And you've talked about this a bit with genetics and different things, but is there anything else?
Yes, I mean, there are other products. There's, reproductive products that we can, there's synchronization programs out there, and a lot of people think, well, I'm not AIing, I don't need to synchronize my herd. But actually, that's not true. I can synchronize my herd. I may have to, increase my bull power right off the bat a little bit, but I can synchronize my herd because the more calves we get born in the first 30 days, the more profitable we are.
A tight window, right?
Yes, we can tighten that, and there are products, and some of them are as easy as adding MGA to the feed.
Right.
Some of them maybe add Lutalize to your pre-breeding vaccinations.
Right.
It's not the best synchronization, but
Right.
it's better than not synchronizing.
Very good. Interesting. Lots of choices and options, lots of things that people can be doing, right?
Yes, we have a lot of great technology. There's a lot of, you can talk to your Zoetis rep, the tech service like that. We're here to help because there is so much producers have to know on growing their grass, growing their cattle, taking
Right.
care of them, doing the business side. You can't be an expert at all of it, so get some help.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for all the information today, Jeff.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Very good. This is Sarah Mikesell with the Cattle Site.